the screen it comes
Recording
up.
in progress.
Oh,
Say that again.
I've got a wicked echo. Um,
You have an
I,
echo
I can
from
hear
me?
me a second after I speak. Yeah,
Maybe I really, maybe these things make all the difference. Hold on.
I think so.
I don't understand why though.
That's
So,
weird. The normal window came up,
how about
and
that?
as soon as I X'd out of it, I was just going to X out and go back to the link and restart it. But as soon as I X'd out of it, you popped up. There's the window, and then the middle one when you join, you can set up your camera and stuff. So then I said join Zoom, did that, and then it just had me sitting there waiting in the waiting room. We've let them know you're here, and I was about to actually text you and say, well, you there? What, that was fucking. That's never happened before. That was weird. Hmm. Well, we just shared that with the
With
audience.
the
So
world. Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
anyone's got any thoughts on that? Let us know.
And I can always decide not to post this.
Sure.
I just record it in case it's gold.
And yesterday I was some days it's a bit hard to speak from this. It can be a little
Uh,
unclear. Other days it's crystal clear. It's just the nature of
I
the
thought
beast.
yesterday was good. What are you talking about?
Oh, sure. I just thought, thinking back, I could have explained things a little better, but I was in a kind of trying to speak about something. The words come as you're thinking it, but sometimes that can be a little, I don't know, what's the word? It feels a little jagged, but hopefully it wasn't for other people. Anyway, we'll
No,
see how this goes.
there's lots of comments on it.
I haven't checked. I've got to go back and look, but I will.
Get
Uh,
your head in the game, Gareth.
oh yeah, there are two. Wow, I have liked them all.
There's a lot more than two.
There are two, as in T-double-O.
Um,
There's 11, two. There are two. There are 11.
I have my Steiner group tonight,
Uh-huh. What's the time there? 5:30.
5 o'clock. Yeah, but Tarot by Janine's going live at the same time.
Ah, okay.
I love it when she's live. She's so ridiculously cute.
Yeah, she's funny.
So that in the live chat, people are talking already in the Tarot by Janine and John Claude. And just like Sam told us in our group chat, Trump really did sign an order to change the name of Lake Ontario to Lake America.
Yes.
Like, what is the point? I don't get it.
Well, I don't know the details, but I do know a little bit about the history, what was going on when United States of America, the real version, the American Revolution, what led up to it and what happened after it and what took place. So I can uh, extrapolate, I guess. But I do know that uh, on the surface, it looked like Britain was defeated and America won the revolution and on a certain level. But what
Sure.
actually happened is, as I've said in it like a long time ago in some of the talks we've had, that the Royal Navy blockaded Boston Harbor, and at the time that was the main import hub because it was a whole lot of colonies, so that the infrastructure of self-sufficiency hadn't really been properly set up yet. So they were caught in a very vulnerable position. So all it took was the Navy to blockade Boston Harbor and cut off all supply lines and hold them to ransom. So, but then instead of it being an overt, we won over the top, they came in underneath. They allowed it to look like
We
what it
won.
seemed, and then they came in underneath and set up this covert kind of um, well, what became the corporate entity, the Roman Empire version. Remember the Roman Empire, Julius Caesar, Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. The exact same process went on in America, but obviously America hadn't already been formed in the same way that the Roman Federation had, because originally that's what it was, a republic, a federal republic, which is the pattern of civilization in its natural state, what civilization is meant to be. Together we are stronger. But each individual component has to be sovereign for that to work. Empire is the exact opposite. You become slaves of a centralized power. So they use that covert process to set up the infrastructure for the corporation under the surface. So Washington, D.C., the reason it's all laid out in a satanic temple, blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of satanic sites were set up all around
Oh
America
my
at different
God,
nodal
yeah.
points. Yeah. So there's, and then of course, the Dutch were involved, the French were involved, the British were involved, and they're all the same thing. The empire building nations that came out of the Roman Empire when Catholicism was created. It turned the empire building process, the slavery building process from a physical thing to an ideology, which was much more fluid, much easier to transfer. So you could infiltrate using this religion, so-called religion. You could infiltrate way more easily and then invert different nations. So that first 1,000 years post the Roman Empire was all about setting that up. And of course, then they went all around the world. So America was pre-planned. What took place in the 20th century was all already on the drawing board around the Roman Empire. So everything that's happened since the Roman Empire has all been a social engineering program designed to set up what we're going through right now, what we've been going through. It was already planned. It had to be done incrementally through free will. We had to invite it in stages. So America was a critical point, and that's why the Nazarene went there. Tom said of the lost years, it was necessary for his energy to circle the globe. So he already laid down, with the help of the native tribes in America, and this is going into Canada and Alaska, like it's North and South America. There was no borders there. There were no borders then. It wasn't about that. So he already set up a counter move to what the satanic process is all about. Take over these nodal points and use the energy to run their system. But think of what the Nazarene did as a computer virus. It's like a virus. It's like a um, it's like how can I put it? A disruptive force within their system at the foundation, which was latent. It wasn't fully active, but it was embedded in whatever they did, whatever the British Empire did. It was pre-embedded into the entire system. And that's a big problem because darkness is an absence of light, awareness. And the Nazarene carried that. He had all of the good from us, is what God described him as, Tom described him as. So that was all set up ahead of time. So the American Revolution was a psyop as well. There
Yeah.
was
You're the first person I ever heard that from, and now I'm seeing other people speak about it.
hmm,
Like saying 1776, nothing what you think it was a psyop, the whole thing's a cover up. I
yeah,
can't believe people are saying it. I didn't, you were the
dude,
first
yeah,
person I
I've
ever
never heard.
heard.
No, well, I started getting shown that as a child in the 70s in stages. It came
Yep,
in stages like everything has.
yep.
But that's basically what happened. So what's playing out right now is undoing that plan and exposing it. So this border between America and Canada, who put it there and what purpose did it serve?
Right.
Right. So it was the British Empire. Or what was the British Empire? Rome 2.0. What was Rome? The Borg, the Empire from Star Wars. So it's not good. It's not good. So a lot of this is the thing about the great falling apart of our society and the world and how it's all been set up. You've got to remember the foundations of the structure of our civilization have been put together in an inverted form. So we become attached to what we know. So we fight against losing it because it feels like we're losing ourselves. And remember, we're pre-programmed from early childhood with reactionaryism from overwhelm. And our
Yeah.
entire persona is about that. So we lose ourselves because the last thing we want to do is not know and be in fear of the unknown. Well, that's a big unknown. But that's the problem. The system that was created is the very thing that's causing everybody to suffer. And
Yep.
that's the irony. That's what they've always played against us. The deep state have always been able to use control of the narrative to take that reactionaryism and destroy anything that would actually fix the problem for us. And we act it out. We act from it. We actively resist the very thing that will stop the suffering. But we've got to be willing to lose everything we think we know to that in order for the reality, the absolute reality, the truth of what a human is and how civilization is meant to look in a way that works. The only way that can come to us is to collapse everything around us and our attachment to it. It's like Stockholm syndrome. You've got to fight for survival and figure out a way to survive. And you become so distorted in Stockholm syndrome that you actually become attached to the abuser and
Yeah.
resist, fight off anything that threatens them.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we've been doing.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of this stuff that's happening right now, we're at the end game. We're at the like the Arcturians told me when I was coming out of the coma in January this year. The Giza plateau switched on, and I was shown that in a vision. And they said everything in the physical now conform. It's done, done. And they showed me in December that the second half of this year that it would build up gradually. There will be a series of events that would play out. They highlighted a few months, different months, like March was important, April was important, but then June, July, August, it would accelerate and become the physical. So the speech that Trump just made in front of the White House about the helipad they've built.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, we spoke about that. Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
don't,
codes.
did we talk about it live?
I,
Did we talk about it recorded or was that after?
I can't remember. Maybe, maybe there's a lot of symbolism in it, but the date that it was made, 26th of August, 2026, when you break all these numbers down, it it all adds up to eight, even if you add up the whole date. So you go 20, normally you'll write a date shorthand, 26th of August, 26. You won't put the 20, or the 19 from last century. But longhand, obviously, properly, it's 2026. But even then, so 26, 2 plus 6 is 8. August is 8. 26, the year, 2 plus 6 is 8. Triple eight. Then you do the full date, which is 26, adds up to 26, which is 8. Now that's all about the Sphinx, all about the Giza Plateau, all about the Sphinx. Who was the Sphinx built for? Tom. He said of that when an archaeologist clocked it in the 70s or 80s, I believe it was. Someone said to him in the book, The Only Planet of Choice, how did the Sphinx come to be named after you? And he said, you have found the secret. The true knowledge of that will be brought at another time. Well, we're in it. I am Harmakos, I am Teote, Tahuti, Tehuti, it's spelt, which links up to Peru. I am the morning, the evening, the mid-noon, the all it is, which is the Egyptian, the way they portray God or source. So the colony of Atlantis that was in Peru, the South America is linked to Teote. The colony of that he highlighted was in Greece, is Harmakos, and it's all linked to this Giza plateau activating the frequency wars. So it's
So
all coming out.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, so I think the destruction of the deep state stranglehold over Canada which has been pretty brutal and similar to Australia, is being directly hit. This is Tom 949, directly hit. And I think that's what he's talking about. Lake Ontario, it's bordered on three sides by Canada and on one side by, I believe, New York State, isn't it? The lake they're talking
Oh
about.
yeah. Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad grew up on Lake Ontario.
Hmm. So was that
But
a
like the
divide and conquer border in some way? Like what does Ontario, Lake Ontario's, what's it all about if you go back all through
signify.
history?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Mhm.
I don't know. But I think I find it wild. I
It's
find it
wild.
wild.
Well, one of the things the
Like
Nazarene
like
told,
to so many people that would look horrible. Like
exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. There's a lot about the great coming together and the great falling apart, literally, is the way the Arcturians described this transition, the paradigm shift. There's a lot about it that's going to look like the opposite of what you think.
yeah.
And that's the whole point of an inversion. So it's not easy for people to get a handle on you. It's just like all of us who are on the great coming together side of it. Well, Tom said it's better for you if you choose it. All of us who are watching this show and all the other Intel shows and all the other, people who have been asking what the hell's going on. We had our world shattered in a lot of ways, and it's been tough emotionally. There's a lot coming out of that, a lot of pain, grief, isolation.
There's a huge theme of uninspired. Like even people with skills and talent and abilities and passions don't want to do any of it. They don't
Anymore.
want to do any of it. And they're shaming and guilting themselves for not producing and doing. I mean, I
Yeah,
was just talking to a friend today and and I said, you're in the gap of what was familiar, you're here. Like what was familiar,
mm,
you're here, and this is all unknown. And
yeah,
like, I don't know.
that's
I
right.
said, I think a lot of people don't want to do anything right now. Like people
Yeah,
are in like
there's wisdom in that.
that's what I keep trying to tell her. And she went to a doctor appointment for antidepressants because she wakes in the middle of the night like bawling her eyes out. And she feels and knows the exact same about it that I do, but she's just like, I don't know what to do. And so she came out with the script and but that same doctor said try a teaspoon of honey every evening. And I thought that was brilliant, but gave her the prescription just for her. And she and I agreed, like, keep it in your wallet. Use it as a form of energy. You sought out help and you don't have to take it, but it's like in your pocket as
Mm.
a what
Backup,
if or a
support.
backup support. I use it as an energetic support. And I
Yeah,
think that's what she's going to do.
great. And there's a lot of power in that as well.
A lot
And
of power in that.
this is the nature of the beast with a paradigm shift too. It's like the calm before the storm. It's like the eye of the storm. And a lot of people, I think you'll see a lot of people who've been running channels, big channels for a while now, kind of coming to a point where, like you say, losing inspiration. It's like the energy the for the what animated that kind of dissipates.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a similar feeling you get to reaching a point in a job or a career where you're just over it. And
Over it.
yeah, it's a similar, which is disheartening because it feels like
The
what we're all
opposite.
doing is about changing um, that system, and yet here we
Right.
are
So why
feeling the
wouldn't I
same
want
way.
to? Yeah. So why wouldn't I want to do something I'm passionate about? But they
Yeah,
don't.
but losing that passion when it makes so much sense that you're working for something that's when you're putting your energy into changing, helping the world to transform, but it it's part of the process. That's why the saying is the night is darkest before the dawn,
Um,
right? In this process of waking up to reality, to the truth, that it's that last, when you're at the right point when everything just stops
Yep.
because you're at the end of the paradigm. You've been going through a process. We've all been going through a process of getting to the 0 point, the end of this paradigm. And of course, you can't see the new paradigm from the old paradigm, but we have no context to change our perspective yet. But
Nope.
everything that happened before that was about liberating your attention, where we put our attention from the story. There's just nothing to replace it with yet. Now that's where what's coming next comes in.
Yep.
That's where because think of
That's what I
the
said to her. I said, just hold on. Just hold on.
just keep staying with it. And this stuff like
Stay.
Ontario, the speech that Trump made about the helipad, there's so many
Helipad, yeah.
codes in it that
There's coding happening. There's something happening.
relating to a lot of the Q posts. Q drop 35. Um, I did make some notes because I got a bit of a
Um,
download about it all. Anyway,
I
there
know, I
was
know. We're gonna have to take this up another time because I got my call now. I got my Steiner group.
okay.
All right. Have fun with Arna and coffee.
All right. Well, what's coming next is the collapse of things out there, borders, divide and conquer. So the
On
military
a
stuff,
personal level and a
yeah,
geopolitical
yeah,
level.
the lines of division
Yep.
have to be dissolved
Yep.
in a way. So you're going to see that play out in the world politically, militarily, and financially. There's a lot of all the systems are going to go through that same process we've gone through, and it's because we've gone through it that it's happening. Which means that the space between now and the answer, the question like what the hell, and the answers is that gap that people have allowed to be there means what's playing out in front of us, the great coming together. It's the when things come together, it's like, oh, click, 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 epiphany. Now I get it.
Yeah.
But you have to have
Yeah.
your attention on the question on the
Yep.
space.
Yep.
So how we all see or perceive what's going to play out is very different to how people who are very invested in this paradigm that's collapsing will see it. They'll see
Yep.
the opposite. It's a threat to their safety, security, world. It'll fall
Yep.
apart. Whereas for us, it'll be like, oh, that's what that meant. And that there is something to Q. There is something to the GCR. There is
Oh
something to
yeah.
this. Oh, wow,
To
I knew it.
all of it.
So stuff will make sense in a much better way. It's a lot simpler in a way for us. Yeah. So
Yep.
just let that feeling be there, the feeling of lack of inspiration. Let the story be there about why and how it's wrong and shouldn't happen, and just question it. Just come
Yep.
back. Yeah, do I really know that? Just
Yep.
stay in the gap, that question. I don't really know
Yep.
my opinion about what's happening is true. I feel this way, and I see it that way, but what's the real truth?
I know.
As hard as that is, just stay there because it's coming.
Yep. That's what I keep saying. That's exactly what I keep saying. All right. I love you.
Love
Talk to
you.
you soon.
See
Bye.
ya.